In light of the Supreme Court ruling in regards to Roe versus Wade, I decided I would share my story on why I got an abortion when I was in my 20s. I was a single mom. My son was about 8 at the time, so I would have been 26. And we were not in a good financial situation. In fact, most of my son's life, we were not in a good financial situation. My insurance lapsed because I underpaid my monthly fee by $3 fucking dollars. $3. That was it. Because it was state medical, it would take a couple months in order to reinstate. The reasons. So, for a short period of time, for a couple months, I was without health insurance and I had sex and I got pregnant. I made the very difficult decision to terminate that pregnancy. I was always pro choice, but I never thought I'd have to make that decision, and I always thought I would be one that would choose to keep it. It's how I was raised. But the circumstances weren't great. I was struggling financially, and I had my other child, my living, existing child, to care for. So I made the decision to terminate. It was the right decision. I struggled with it for a while. I had a long time I had to process it, and I still have a picture of the ultrasound somewhere in my stuff. Around the time that I would have delivered, had I continued with my pregnancy, we ended up homeless for a short period of time. A friend let me stay on their couch, so I guess we weren't technically without lodging. My son stayed with his dad for a couple of weeks. But had I had an infant, that would have been a very different situation. The house we ended up finding, and where my son spent the rest of his childhood, was about 400 square feet, and it cost $600 a month for all utilities and rent included. It was all I could afford on my own. It was a one bedroom, and I would not have been able to stay there if I had had two children, because you can only have two people for one bedroom. I don't want to imagine how different our lives would have been if I had been forced to carry to term. This is a really sad day, a really fucking sad day in American history, to take a woman's right away. My story isn't extreme, it's not incest, it's not rape, it's not all the big scary things. I had a really difficult time as a single mother with one child, financially and just life. It was a lot. If I had had to care for two kids, I don't know how that would have worked. I don't know how. I i worry for the women now that have no decision about what happens to their own bodies. This is this is an enormous step backwards, literally a half a century step backwards, essentially. That's all I really wanted to say. I don't know if this is meaningful to anyone. If you have a story that you feel comfortable sharing, I would love to hear it. This is just such fucking bullshit, is what this is. Anyways, I'm glad I had my decision, and I wish and I hope that other young women and other women just have that decision, hopefully, in the future.